Well, hello everybody. We are already starting with Ethix Token Impact launching.
Hello, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for your time and especially for your interest. Before going straight to talk about the Ethix, or Impact Token, I would like to do a brief introduction on what EthicHub is and what we do, as to set a context that better explains the ethics and the use it will have. Okay, EthicHub. Sorry. Okay, what we do at EthicHub is impact market to directly connect smallholder farmers from emerging economies with international lenders and direct buyers, creating value for all of them. Farmers like Dilma and Ismail, which, despite having a very productive activity, still are trapped in the poverty cycle because they don't have access to enough resources to make the most out of their land. They only find money so expensive that they have to undersell their crops to pay it back. So they are unable to save, to invest into increasing their productivity and break free of this cycle. Worst of all, they are good payers, but there's no record to prove it. So this loop repeats year after year. They practically work to pay back the debt and to cover very basic needs. And while they pay over 100% interest for insufficient money, in the other side of the world, we have even negative rates. That's a paradox of the global economy. Over 1 billion farmers trapped in the poverty cycle, while the rest of us barely find where to invest our savings to keep its value. They are the weakest link in the supply chain. And this has a repercussion also in biodiversity because coffee is grown under the shade of trees that protects this important biodiversity. And when farmers cannot make a living out of their coffee, they will cut down the trees to grow more immediate crops. And this will have a severe impact on the mountains they use to grow coffee. What EthicHub do is to connect them to complete this circle and get benefits for all of them. Farmers get access to enough resources to work and also to market to sell the coffee. At the same time, they develop a digital identity to make an asset out of their reputation. Lenders get a benefit from giving their money to work to the farmers and also the satisfaction of the impact generated. And direct buyers provide more stability to the operation, the lending operation, because by selling the crops at a fair price, we are making sure farmers will have the money to pay back to the lenders, completing the cycle. Coffee acts as a collateral. How an EthicHub works? Well, lenders use smart contracts to send the money to the farmers that when they receive it, they use it to work and to prepare the lands and all the productive activities as well as exports. Once they sell their coffee, the loan is satisfied, means paid back to the lenders, and that's how the circle is completed. As I said before, coffee acts as collateral. Well, that's like the general process of what we do, and now Jorge will continue to the technical part about the token. Thank you very much.
So, until now, we have explained the business model behind EthicHub, but how blockchain can impact this business model. And I will start sharing the vision of Chris Burniskes, that is one of the top guys in the space. And basically, he says that blockchain is a next step in civilizations, next step in trust, next step in how we are able to collaborate each other. Writing was the first step forward, and it allowed us to create civilizations because from writing, when writing was invented, we could start having accounting of the taxes already paid and the cereals already stored for the winter, and etc. And the salaries for the public representatives. So, and we lived like that for millennia until we invented second two-entry accounting in the 14th century. And this allowed us to scale collaboration because from that moment, not only public sector was able to innovate and create ventures, but also the private sector, and were able to bet and fund ventures and innovation. And this was the foundation for the Industrial Revolution that came afterwards. And finally, blockchain is the next step forward in trust, because at the end, this allows us not only to have the accounting of the buyer and the accounting of the seller, but the accounting of the transaction between them in a public and immutable layer. And at the beginning, this was only about payments and money, but with smart contracts, we are able to think much further in how we can rethink civilizations into a new paradigm in which crypto economy is able to disrupt the old capitalism into a new form of capitalism, or even another thing that is not even capitalism, based on, in one side, game theory to create incentives that are already programmed by code and are immutable, creating incentive loops and creating digital identity, and also tokenizing using rights and other forms of value that were very difficult to tokenize with two-entry accounting. And the key paradigm is how we create incentive loops into new business models in order to further accelerate growth, in order to better distribute wealth between the participants. And I will put the example of Bitcoin. That was the first blockchain-based incentive program to create an incentive loop whose aim is to incentivize miners to secure the network. So if the network is more secure, more people is interested into putting their savings into Bitcoin network. So the Bitcoin increases in value. So the incentives for the miners are bigger. And this repeats one and again. And this can be created in every company, in every value chain, in every supply chain. We can always find ways to create incentive loops inside these companies, already established companies or new companies trying to disrupt all value chains. So the first thing we have to do when thinking about a new token design is who will be the stakeholders in this ecosystem? What are their motivations, and positive and negatives, and so they're first also. And then we have to think about these stakeholders, what we want from them. So we arrived to the conclusion that this is the key incentive loop for EthicHub, that is that the more money is lent through the platform, the ethics in the compensation pool that we will explain later on, what is this, increases in value. So the network is more secure. So more lenders are able to trust their money into the platform. So the ethics increases in value, and the staked ethics by the local nodes who are onboarding projects into the platform are increases in value. So the local nodes are better incentivized to look for better projects. So the platform is more trustful, and more lenders coming, and again and again, this loop repeats. So then we have to apply the already proven patterns. We are starting into these new economic design theories, and we are in super early stage, but there are already a lot of things that have been proven. And we arrived to the conclusion that the pattern that is better working, especially in DeFi space, and we at the end are trying to connect DeFi to the real world, is a staking system mixed with governance, because we want all to create a multi-stakeholder governance project. So we have created the Ethix, that is a polyfunctional token. It's not only a governance token, but also a utility token, but because it provides its holders the ability to acquire discounts and have better interest when lending their money in the platform. And also is an incentive token for users to promote the behaviors that we want, that we need to further accelerate the project and let it be more safe. And as I said, it's also a governance token because we want our users to be able to participate in the project, but this will come with the time, not in the first iteration. And now I leave you with Raul, so he explains how this will work in practice.
Hello, I'm Raul and I'm the CTO in EthicHub. So I'm going to explain you the basic incentive loop, or the basic loop, the first we're going to implement, so the token can capture value from the system and serve as a measure of confidence for all the agents in this system. What we have already is a lending platform with several loans per week, and you can go there and lend for example, this lender will lend 1,000 DAI, and in a project that has this goal and with 8% annual percentage. Each time one of these loans is funded, a percentage will be stored in a reserve that will be later periodically be exchanged to Ethix. So in effect, we are buying Ethix as a way of buying into this share pool for future compensations, and this will in effect buy Ethix and stake them in our pool that we will explain right now. So the money will arrive to our local hub or originator hub, which is the local infrastructure that serves as an interface for the farmers into all this system. And our local nodes, we help them. They are organized in groups of 20 families. They are collaborative loans. So they will exchange it to pesos. We're starting in Mexico, so it's the working currency, and they will work on it and pay it back after. In a successful loan, which is in the 3 years we've been operating, the 100% of our loan has been paid back. So this compensation system will not be activated. The loan will be paid, and the lenders can redeem their money plus interest. Can you pass to the next one? Yeah, in case of default, the compensation system will be triggered, and what will happen? There's going to be several reserves of Ethix that are going to be staked, as we said, as a shared collateral for the system. For the loan, the coffee acts as collateral, but for the system, if everything goes wrong, we can have this like shared compensation layer. So there's going to be several reserves. Jorge will explain later, And in case of a default, these stake tokens will be shared in a balancer pool that we're going to launch along with the token. And this pool will give liquidity and market value since launch to the token. So the tokens will be sent back to DAI and used to cover the partial or total default of the projects. This is like a last measure, since we will try to recover the debt for all other ways possible, but it's the last measure. And we can see, if you go to the next one, please. This is how the system will look for the ethics holders. In the ethics holder perspective, as we said before, the token is also a governance token. We will have the value of the system. I mean, the lending projects will generate fees. These fees will be reserved in XDAI, and depending on the health of the systems, there's going to be a smart contract and an oracle that will measure the collateralization ratio, which this parameter will be later be able to be modified by governance. And well, if the system is not collateralized enough, these tokens will be this DAI will be used to buy ethics and stake them in the reserve of the compensation system. If the system is already collateralized, what we do with those fees will be up to governance. The first idea will be to share them between the holders staking ethics, but further proposals will be maybe rewrote this to something else. Along with this, the users that all people, because this is going to be a public staking pool, will be able to stake ethics in two ways. You can either just, the simple one will be stake the token. What does that mean? You are betting on the security of the network. For that, how are you betting? If defaults happen, there is a possibility that your tokens will be, part of them will be sold in this pool and sent to cover for a loan. As we say, the possibility of this is low. And also, we have several layers until it reaches the final users. We will explain later the distribution, but the first major stake of ethics will be half of the supply, 50 million, that will be staked as the first compensation reserve. Later, each originator, each local hub, for example, a new group of farmers in Mexico, or someone that is able to produce to introduce projects in the system, will have to buy ethics and stake them in this reserve as a buy-in into the liquidity of the system. So those will cover the ethics stake by the originator will be the second if the first reserve is depleted. The people responsible for bringing the projects into the system will cover for them to this way. And the last one will be the ethics stake by the general users. In order to, this is based on Aave's security module. It works like that, and we're basing the smart contracts on the work. So in order to for this contract to be in effect, there is a cooldown period of 10 days, a parameter that could be also reduced or augmented by governance, that you will have to activate to take your to withdraw your tokens. This is the reason behind this is in case of a default event, there could be a stampede, and the purpose of the staking will not be in effect. But of course, since you are putting stuff at risk, you're going to be rewarded. We're going to run several liquidity mining programs where you will be rewarded first in ethics for staking your tokens, and later with the fees as we talked before. The second way of staking will be providing liquidity to the pool itself. That will give you the fees needed by I produce by the trading occurring in the pool. If we are whitelisted by Balancer, you will probably have rewards in BAL too. And if you take that the pool token that your rights on the share and freeze them, stake them in our compensation system, you will also be eligible for our liquidity mining programs. And this is the general picture of the governance of money flow. I think there's another one. Yeah, it's a little detail of how this will work. Every contract that is successfully funded will be put DAI in this fee reserve. Since we are working on XDAI and there has to be a bridging of the tokens, we're going to do this once a month to be more gas efficient. So once a month, this buy into the pool and stake event will occur. And that's all for my part. Corey, can you explain how the distribution will work?
Yeah. So basically, Raul. So basically, what we do is we create 100 million tokens, and half of them we put them into the compensation pool. The compensation pool is a smart contract with the aim to reduce, mitigate the default, exchange, or whatever risk into the system. And so, since this is the main, one second, sorry. So, since this is the basic, the more important feature of our token, we put them half of the tokens. So we have to think what is the best way to distribute the other half percent of the tokens between the stakeholders. So we have decided to take 10% for the team and advisors, 10 million tokens, 10 million tokens for the company behind EthicHub, that is at the end onboarding the originators of loans and helping them to sell their crops with commercial loans in the other side of the world. So this is very difficult to do it 100% decentralized. Maybe in the future we could go there. So this is the way we can become 100% decentralized in the future, because we give lending debt 10 millions. And then we have 5 millions for the people who trusted in us and bet in the token sale, bought already Ethix in the token sale, and help us in many different ways in the bounty program. And these tokens will be released in 3 months. I forget that lending them tokens will be staked because lending the subordinary company in Mexico is the first loan originator. So if loans coming from that company are insolvent or whatever, these 10 millions are already acting as a first level of insurance. And these tokens from the team start, the releasing of these tokens start when after these 3 months, the tokens, the pre-sale and bounties are released already in the market. Then this starts is a linear vesting of 4 years, the 10 million tokens from the team. Then we have 1 million to put into liquidity pools or even centralized exchanges. And we have finally 24 millions for incentive for community tokens. And this will be released asymptotically in the long term in 16 years. So we have Ethix to for its the other main feature, that is incentivize the proper behaviors in the system. So if you are putting money, staking ethics, we give you more ethics. If you are lending to the farmers, we are giving you ethics. If you are putting liquidity into balancer, so people can exchange DAI into ethics or vice versa, you will have also not only the fees of that conversion, but some ethics in exchange. So at the end, the aim of this token distribution is align interest of all the participants, reduce velocity, incentivizing staking, and increasing security of the network. So as a conclusion, I would say that the ethics is basically a way to connect this fascinating decentralized finance space that is already successful, but it's only successful in the crypto space that is still a niche in the world, and will become mainstream the day it arrives to the day-to-day of the people and the companies in the streets. And this is a way to do that. We want to position ourselves as a lead project to connect DeFi space with the impact economy, not only real economy.
Yeah, that's was exactly that you stole my words. I wanted to say that it's amazing to be able to connect this wonderful technology, all the top of the development made on blockchain, which is DeFi, and to bridge again, to build again a bridge between these two parallel complementary, now it's not economical regions, but economical spaces, and to bring the flux of value to where it's more needed, productive, the impact space. Thank you very much.
Speak about the logo, please.
Well, the logo, if you see to this is, we like to say the core, the heart of EthicHub, because if you see the E, those lines going this way and the other confronted were originally the inside of the letter E. So it's like the heart of EthicHub in a figurative sense. And also, it represents kind of agricultural logo, because it can be kind of a tree or a plant. So it's like a fusion of all the believings. It also looks a bit like a rune, and the other says, but I said it's a very positive one. So we wanted to have a figure that can be very recognizable when you see this, light, simple, and that can be used as a sign of value. The same way we use the euro or the other fiat or other cryptocurrencies, our token to be recognizable and full of significance for us. So let's change the rules together. Welcome to EthicHub and its impact token, the ethics.
They're asking in the chat if we will go into respond questions. I guess yes. We're reading the chat. Is there a contact address that we can use to get in touch with the team? We have several channels in Telegram. I don't know if someone, whoever is in the team right now can post them. If you go to the video description, you can get in touch with us. All the information is there.
Yeah, we have a channel in Spanish, and that is more active because at the end we started between Spain and Mexico, and we will focus our marketing efforts into the Spanish space at the early stages because we cannot do everything at the first time now. And so we have the vision that this is not will be. We are not trying to super hype this project in the first days, but we want to create the incentives and work linearly into a sustainable growth of the token, not only in the next coming month, but in the years to come.
As we are used to do, very solid steps, one by one, to follow a straight line.
They're also asking what is the total amount of supply of the token?
So we have created 100 million and
100 million.
100 million, and as I just explained, it will be 50 million staked into the compensation pool. So there will be only 50 millions of circulating supply, but this circulating supply will come after 16 years. The release will be very gradual during 16 years. The first 3 months, there will be only the tokens, pre-sale and bounty tokens that are like 5 million into the market.
Is it limited to the 100 million?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I cannot see more questions for now.
Well, there's always time to pose questions. We have a wonderful support team. We've been congratulated, well, with Sergio, being congratulated many times because of the willingness to answer everything. And it's a very active channel because all the team is there.
Yeah.
And it's fine that even our community answers the questions when they know the answer, which is most of the time. So you're very welcome to join later if you don't have the questions right now. Let's all this information to settle down, and then the questions will arise, and we keep open to answer them anytime.
They say, can you create more after this?
No, unless governance, I mean, for example, in Length or Aave, what happened? At some point, they didn't have the vision to keep tokens for incentivize proper behaviors in the long term. So, and neither they reserve tokens for a security model. So they had to propose their community, we will make a second version in which we create more tokens to put somewhere. No? In this case, to create farming strategies and create a compensation pool, something similar to our compensation pool. From the beginning, we are envisioning these features. So we will have 16 years of tokens, and we don't expect that in these 16 years we will need to produce more tokens, or this is our vision that maybe in 100 years we have to, but not in these 16 years.
Well, part of the governance idea of this multi-stakeholder governance and shared participation of the governance of the platform, it's made for that. For users to have an opinion, to have a weight, not only founders, not only.
Yeah, but we don't think it's going to be a thing for now. Also, okay, where will token sale be listed? The token sale already happened. The token is going to start to be purchasable in a balancer pool. Which is the same pool that will be used for the system is going to be public. So the best way to help the system will be to buy there. But we are working on having another pool in more decentralized AMMs, Uniswap namely, and we'll probably list it in a centralized exchange, but to be announced yet.
And as a resume, I also want to point out that with this system, what we are obtaining is that these loans for farmers that used to be not collateralized, but only by coffee, that is a philosophical thing, we are taking this value into a token. And if we succeed, and that's what we are doing, into giving value to the token. So users buy the token to have the discounts or participate in governance or participate into the liquidity pools or whatever other reasons. At the end, the token has a value. And if the value of all the tokens that are stored into the compensation pool is bigger than the value of the loans intermediated in EthicHub, what we have obtained is that these uncollateralized loans become collateralized loans. And I think that's the
huge disruption.
Yeah, the huge disruption of bringing to DeFi collateralized loans from uncollateralized world.
Looks like there's no more questions. I guess.
We forgot to say the most important thing, that is on 22nd of December, we wait till on the launching official party of the Ethix, because that day the Ethix will be delivered and we'll start trading in Panama.
Very well built together. This project is being built by the community. Nothing in blockchain works alone. We need a lot of people. And thank you very much, the ones that have been part of this since the very beginnings. And the sky's the limit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Mars, not the moon, but Mars. Right now.
Bye.